So I wasted my 20s and part of my 30s already because I fell prey to the sunk cost fallacy in so many ways. The sunk cost fallacy is the phenomenon whereby a person is reluctant to abandon a strategy or course of action because they have already invested heavily into it, even when it's clear that the abandonment of that strategy would be more beneficial. I've talked about this in various ways in other videos on this channel, but I wanted to really make a dedicated video on this fallacy because it's very, very easy, even for somebody really smart and thoughtful like myself, to fall into it. And it can happen in literally any area of life: relationships, finances, career, religion, even where you live or causes that you support or a social media platform that you're building. And honestly, I think I have fallen prey to it in almost every single area of my life. I was in a relationship that was pretty freaking toxic and was literally like destroying my life for far too long, but I didn't want to leave it because I kept thinking like we're almost over the worst of it. And I've given so much time, effort, energy, and even financially into this when I knew that I should get out of it. And I still struggle a little bit with getting out of it because I have, all those memories, all this investment in it. And it's like, well, maybe, it would be so good if it worked. And by the time that I finally am ending it, it's cost me massively. In business, I have stayed with business partners and coaches way longer than I should have because I was so invested in what we were trying to build. I was invested in the strategy. I was invested in seeing us succeed. And multiple times it's cost me financially and led to failures and difficult financial situations. And all of them ended up ending. Some, relationships ended amicably, some pretty ugly. And I would have been far better off getting out of those business relationships the moment I realized there was a problem. And religion, most of you guys came here from my deconstruction video. And while most of the time in my religion, I wouldn't consider myself really being stuck in the sunk cost fallacy, I definitely stayed in it longer than I should have, in part because of this fallacy. And sometimes I'm drawn back towards it, in part because I invested so much of my life into it and it just feels comfortable. And, I just want to go back into it and be like, well, I already gave, 25 years of my life. Why not just, give some more, get some more out of it, even if I don't necessarily truly believe it? It even comes up in causes that I have supported over the years. I've been so invested in a cause that even when it was doing me harm, even when, I wasn't really making a difference anymore, that I was still in it. I was still giving my all. I was still just pushing and pushing and pushing to try and make something because I'd put so much time into it. I mean, I evaluate that with my support of Ukraine. It's a little different because I do feel like I'm still making a difference, but I'm also having to evaluate the ways that I'm making a difference, and are those still mattering for the input output that I'm putting into it? And then we look at social media. I've been on Facebook forever, but is it really a platform that I'm able to build my videography business on? But the thought of trying to build on a new platform, start over, deal with my Instagram that I have had for a long time, but I hate posting on, sometimes that sunk cost fallacy of, well, maybe Facebook will just work, rather than looking at, okay, where are my clients? Where do I need to go? What do I need to do to get those new clients, even if it's difficult or even if it's abandoning something that I have worked on for a long time? Or even with YouTube, I've got a filmmaking channel that I'm not giving up on because I've been invested in it for 4 years. And I love filmmaking, but I've kind of had to look at it differently because for a long time it was like grind, 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 and feeling so frustrated because it wasn't growing the way that I wanted to, but I wanted to do the strategy that I wanted to do, and, grinding, grinding, grinding. And now I've just kind of had to let the results go on that. And this is more of my main channel where I'm focused on, but at the same time, I've built it in such a way to hopefully avoid the sunk cost fallacy, where it is a little bit more malleable And, it's the thoughts of Brian. It's not necessarily hooked into only talking about one single topic. So, as I see what topics resonate with people, what I enjoy talking about, I can, kind of move the channel can evolve versus kind of the way that I built my filmmaking channel where it can only be a filmmaking channel, where in some ways I'm stuck and I've invested all that time. I got to 1,000 subscribers. I'm close to hitting that 4,000 watch hours, but I don't always feel like creating filmmaking videos. But I have that channel. But I'm really trying now to be much more aware of the sunk cost fallacy in my life, and where I'm just investing in something because I've invested in it so long and I don't want to give up on it. Rather that's financial or time or emotional capital, whatever it is, and be like, okay, like this hasn't worked. I've been grinding at this. And yes, it's going to hurt, because that's the truth, is when you abandon something that you've been, basically sunk cost fallacying your way into continuing for a long time, it hurts. It's really painful. You're going to be mad at yourself. You're going to be sad. You're going to be, maybe angry at other people or angry at whatever it was that didn't work, or just feel this frustration and grief about all the investment that you put into it and having to let that go. Even like money, you're like, I spent, a ton of money on this business, or, whatever it might be, and be like, that's gone. I can't get that back. I'm not going to get that back by putting more and more into it. The only way that I can start getting it back is to change my tactic, even though it means that I've lost out on all that. So I just want to encourage you, like, examine your life. I'm examining my life for sunk costs. And I have been, and like you guys who followed the channel and watched most of my videos probably can see a lot of the sunk costs in those videos, as well as what I've talked about here. But I hope that you guys found this in some way useful. If you did, let me know. If you didn't, let me know. Leave me some comments. Let's start a conversation. Have a fantastic day.